early.
Yo, what it do? What it do?
What's up, bro? Not much, Brody. What about yourself?
I'm cooling, man. It's another Friday. We're in this bitch early.
Mm-hmm. No, the
Today,
vibes.
Friday the 11th. Interesting week, man. Really interesting.
It is. It has been
going on, man.
I mean, which week hasn't been interesting?
Every
this
week is
of
interesting.
2020. It's
every week is
something,
interesting.
Bro.
You know what I'm
Every
saying?
week.
Shout out to we're on the tail end of what's been a crazy year, but you know what's crazy? I don't like to get into the narrative of like this year's been this year's been that.
Right.
Years are years, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can look at any year and see and be like, these bad things happened on this year, this bad thing happened on that year. So I usually don't like to get into that, but for the sake of, conversation,
right?
We are in the last couple weeks of 2020, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to 2021 for sure.
Too.
You know what I'm saying?
Too.
But this week we definitely had some interesting things happen. Last night, the Rams and the Patriots, you know what I'm saying?
I glimpsed at that.
Shout out Cam Akers, you know what I'm saying?
I tuned in because I always like to see a good game,
Yeah.
And I'm fond of the Patriots, just because all the years when Brady was there. It's not like it's necessarily ever been my team, but again, I appreciate greatness. I appreciate people doing shit at their peak level. I fuck with Cam though. So I did want Cam, you know what I'm saying, with these past 2 years, with the injuries and whatnot. I wanted him to come into this Patriot situation and leverage that to the best of his ability, because it's kind of crazy. Like, even the contract that he had to sign. Now, it was justifiable, $7 million a year. You're coming off an injury, you don't know what the fuck you can do yet, right?
Yeah.
But now, and I'm seeing like this season in totality and how it's going for him, kind of sucks, because I'm like, damn, bro, I don't know if you'll like. This was your chance, to get that bag moving forward.
Yeah.
And although there are a lot of reasons that you could say as to why the Patriots not balling, I mean, bro, like, they've had their facility shut down like fucking 3 times this season. Like, more than like shut down.
They lost a bunch. Everybody's
Cam
losing players to everybody's losing players to COVID, but they lost a bunch of players.
Cam got the shit. Yeah. Before the season started, 8 of their fucking I'm not playing the season.
Yeah,
and your Dante Hightower, your fucking defensive captain, said I'm good this season.
Yeah,
fucking Cam caught the shit himself. So many things. So I could get it, but at the end of the day, it's like, just to see that, to tune into the yesterday and to see the score 24-3 to start the fourth quarter, I was just like, damn, bro. You don't see this.
Yeah,
you don't see this.
Not from a Bill Belichick coach team.
Not facts.
You know what I'm saying?
And with all that said, man, he's still coaching the fuck out of them. Like, there's really nothing. Really nothing. They got 5 wins. So, I mean, that's even a feat in itself. But Rams is nice. With all that said, the Rams is actually nice.
The Rams are tough.
Yeah, when the teams pick up on the tail end, bro, of the season, they're coming into the groove at the right time. Sometimes when teams start off really fucking hot, you notice that, they kind of burn out.
Yeah, that nigga Cam Akers was looking like nice last night. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. I mean, bro, they made a good trend. Like, you see how you don't notice the fact that Gurley's gone. Gurley was an MVP candidate running this shit for the Rams, and now he's with Atlanta, and Atlanta has their fucking woes.
Yeah.
They got rid of their GM and head coach in this season. But not a Ram. I mean, shout out to Scott McVay.
Yeah,
really knows how to.
He's tough, man. I've always loved him since the Redskins. Like, he's always been tough,
and
bro.
Aaron McDonald,
and he's young. I love that he's young. Like, the nigga's like our age. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, coaching. They went to the Super Bowl last year. You know,
Aaron McDonald, bro. I mean,
or 2 years ago, whenever
not
that
even
was.
just defense. I mean, he's arguably the best player in the game.
Aaron Donald,
defensive tackle.
Yeah,
like, come on, bro. That's impact. That's impact.
That nigga's a force. I was watching. I was watching something that was showing like this nigga getting like triple teamed throughout the game, and the 1 or 2 times he didn't get double teamed, he was he was going right through. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So it's really crazy. He fucks up everybody's scheme and shit.
Yeah, that's big facts. But that shit. Yeah. Okay. So, but what's your implications as far as like, because this was kind of
6-6. Okay.
I mean, I guess it's safe to say that the Patriots aren't who we know them to be. No. Fine.
Yeah, who we've been accustomed to seeing them be, but I don't think anybody can be like, "Oh, I'm shocked at how their season's going." Like, this is really right on cue.
Yeah,
lost your whole fucking roster, new quarterback, no Tom Brady.
Yeah,
you're 500 after yesterday's loss. You're 6-7. I'd say that's a pretty good fucking season.
Yeah,
with
all things
all
considered.
This shit considered.
Yeah. Big facts.
And you had, the Bills and the Dolphins are not shit now. That's also a new.
The Bills
day
are
and
very
age.
tough.
The Bills are really good, and the Dolphins
they're leading
really
that
sneaky.
division, aren't they?
I think it's one of the two.
Yeah.
They're really fighting for it. So
yeah. Another thing, so last night I saw that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were named Person of the Year by Time Magazine.
Yeah, I saw the.
Time Magazine does their Person of the Year every year.
Time is
I think last year they had that little girl that did that was changing the world or
screaming
at old people for climate change.
Yeah,
I think they made her.
Really?
I think she was Person of the Year
off that speech, off the strength of that.
I mean, she was doing those.
I know
a lot.
she was.
She was doing a bunch of just yelling at old folks. Like, I was like, so that she won Person of the Year last year.
When somebody when you have a kid that's like 13, 14, like
calling at adults
to power, like people are gonna be like, whoa, this is profound.
Yeah,
like, yo, listen up.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
it got me thinking though, like,
more people
who would I nominate for Person of the Year?
Okay,
I'm gonna throw the question to you too, but
okay.
I would have to go. I would go Dave Chappelle, but that's so typical of me. But the thing is, because I'm glad you said that, because let's stay here,
okay?
Because Dave dropped some good work this year, bro.
He did.
Some
for sure,
timely, like some work that we needed,
relevant,
relevant,
and that sparks conversations.
And he did that joint after the George Floyd joint. He dropped this stand up that was, it was great.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? That joint when he was sitting on the stool outside. He did the the whole Chappelle show thing that we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Do accomplishments. So that's what I'm not necessarily saying what scope. I'm trying to get a better gist of how we're measuring this. So who had the most accomplishments?
Whoever had an impactful year on the world.
Okay,
and
makes sense.
And now that I even caveat it that way, mine's gonna kind of sound a little bit jokey, but I would say Will Smith, because Will Smith.
I'm interested to see.
I don't know. I feel like Will Smith has always been someone who's been able to I don't know if galvanize is the right word, but bring folks together through his content. You know what I'm saying? And he's definitely dog, I'm talking about social media, off the strength of social media content. This nigga is one of the most entertaining people in the world.
That's right.
He put together the whole fucking Fresh Prince reunion that niggas didn't even know they needed. You know what I'm saying?
That was cool. That was cool.
That was tough to see.
That was really cool.
Nigga made it okay to get cheated on. You know what I'm saying? He was the pioneer for
I don't know if you get an accolade like that for me.
Nigga, I mean, it happened. But it happens. Yeah. It's not like he tucked his tail between his legs. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's a little
elevates you to person.
It's a little jokey. Also the thing is, I can't necessarily think of. I mean, other than Dave Chappelle, but I feel like that's the obvious answer coming out of me. So I tried to come up with an answer that's not so obvious. But
who's made impact?
I can't even. Yeah, because when you think about people who've made impact, I mean, honestly, he hasn't even made that much of an impact on me. If I'm talking about people who've made impacts on me, it's the usual suspects like Gary V's. There's a guy I really fuck with named Tom Bilyeu who's on the same.
Yeah, I fuck with Tom.
You fuck with Tom Bilyeu?
I fuck with Tom Bilyeu.
Impact Theory? Yeah, that's my shit. I didn't even know.
I saw a Chameleonaire on here.
Chameleonaire.
Will Weinstein. Weinstein or something.
Weinstein.
He's a really Eric Weinstein. His thoughts on shit.
Bro, Tom Bilyeu always got the top niggas on there, bro.
I love how we reels
it out. Dame Dashby was on Impact Theory. No, the Chameleonaire one was very tough, bro.
Tech,
I saved a lot of clips from that joint because niggas think Chameleonaire and then niggas think Chameleonaire and they don't think he's actually tough. But that nigga tough in real life.
It'd be foolish to think people would know Chameleonaire. Bro, you ain't heard about him for 15 years. How do you think you know what he's on,
bro? This nigga's on. This nigga's really in the tech world.
He won so many shit off Right and Dirty and leveraged it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Immediately.
It's not
it was he didn't stay longer than he was needed.
Yeah, he didn't overstay. He didn't overstay his welcome. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's important that you said that, because I think people don't realize that everybody not in the music game to be the best musician. Motherfuckers be looking for opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers be looking for opportunities. Look at now. What's the first thing someone who amasses 1 million followers does? They fucking drop a song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Bad Baby became 100%. Bad Baby because she had so many fucking followers and needed a way to monetize. Music is the easiest thing to monetize, especially 100%. In this streaming era. You know what I'm saying? Right. So motherfuckers, that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I think with Chameleonaire, he did it right because this nigga had a hit single. You know what I'm saying? Did that shit win a Grammy? I mean, it won the Ringtone Awards. That shit was everywhere.
I'm pretty sure won a Grammy. I would love to see a fact check on that. It won some type of serious accolades. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And John Jay said, "Chameleon, got in, got out. That's what you got to do." You know what I'm saying?
Before the streaming wars came and all that shit, like it was really profiting off of that shit.
But then let's talk about the next chapter for him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He didn't overstay his welcome. He wasn't. Right. I never looked at Chameleon and was like, "Oh, this nigga's still making music." You know what I'm saying? Like he was gone before. It was like a "Where did Chameleon go?" type thing. Oh, he's washed. No, he's not washed. He's moved on to other things.
And
like
it's not even just and like you can even get specific. It's not just like moving on to other things. What did he move on to specifically? Tech, like the future of how the world is evolving.
Yeah,
like he could. It's so crazy because these are the type of individuals like you would actually care for their insight. Like they could hip you onto game into the same space they already maneuvered through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's super dope. So, what were we talking? We were talking about person of the year.
Yeah, person of the year.
Who would your person of the year be?
My person of the year, man, bro. It's crazy because although I'm not thinking of anybody to mind right now,
you can even name a couple. Like I named a couple.
Right. I guess I was gonna say just even on some real shit too. I'm like, on my humanitarian vibe. I'm like, more likely than not, bro, the person of the year is probably some individual we don't even know, but like you're the person of the year, bro. You've really been making impact in people's lives. It's like we're talking about spectacles of society, and it makes sense, right? Because it's like, well, this is like everybody would know that person. You know what I'm saying? So for the sake of conversation, I understand that. I'm trying to think, man, and I wish like some community leaders or people I know that came to mind that were really doing shit in the environment, because I would love to really say like
I want to know in the comments. Let us know who you think is deserving of person of the year. There were some people who did some, and also it really doesn't always have to be humanitarian type thing. Like I feel like it's not that Megan Thee Stallion won person of the year, but I think she was on the list for being, or maybe it was Cardi B. There'll be musicians, there'll be musicians who be on there just because like they've changed something. You know what I'm saying? They transcended something. You know what I'm saying?
And that even gets us even a little closer to like an answer. I feel like that's worthwhile. Who's
I'm trying to think of some sports figures that like did some big things.
I guess LeBron is a cliche.
LeBron is always, he's always doing something tough. He has
picked it up. I mean, even with the HBO series and shit like that, which is Showtime, right? It's a Showtime.
No, it's HBO that he has the shop.
Right.
But also what he's doing with Uninterrupted, that's what it's called, Uninterrupted.
I mean, he's building a little empire.
Niggas building a little media empire. Shout out him, 100%. Rich Paul, all them niggas. Like
Rich Paul. Let me go Rich Paul. Like because bro,
let's talk about the pandemic, the bubble. Like who pioneered that? Like LeBron was like, I'm going. Everybody started saying, I remember Damian Lillard said he wasn't going. You know what I'm saying? And then this nigga was there. You know what I'm saying?
I think they said like Rich is close. He's inching closer and closer towards representing damn near half of the players in this league.
Shout out Graylin Smith real quick. He said all the people who protested in the streets this summer. Persons of the year. Motherfucking George Floyd and Breonna Taylor might be people of the year just for the fact of they sparked all this. Not that they sparked it, but this year it went to another tier because of their situation.
Shout out Breonna Taylor.
You know what I'm saying? Like their situation sparked it to a whole new thing, bro. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I'm glad so that's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point.
For sure. Because that was definitely a turning point in the year. You know what I'm saying? And literally, it kind of happened like on cue, right in the middle of the year. Like George Floyd happened, I think, like towards the end of May.
Yeah.
So boom, like 6 months into it, like boom.
Niggas said, despite that, like that was the reason motherfuckers got out their house because niggas was in the crib. Niggas said, "Fuck this, put a mask on. I'm going in the street."
Social injustice made everybody say, "You know what? Fuck that. It is what it is." Like you know what I'm saying? We gonna die of these fans. So
that's
like,
a big fact. That's a big fact.
That's real.
Another big story, bro, is the Airbnb talk of the town. They opened up the biggest IPO of the year.
Yo. Oh man.
3.5 billion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
One day after DoorDash did 3.4 billion, which is crazy. It's just this. I think this is kind of telling of the fact that like money's still out there, bro.
Do you think
the money is still out there?
That's a good question. Do you think it's overvalued?
Who? What? Airbnb?
Yeah.
No, I don't think Airbnb is overvalued.
That's overvalued.
No.
Really?
I think you're valued at what you're valued at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I honestly don't think there is this. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think there can really be such a thing as overvalued because like you're valued at what people deem is your value. You know what I mean?
But I'm more so talking about today. Like at this current point, you think that like that's what if this says okay, well IPO is 3.5 billion. I saw another thing. I thought it was 29. I was like, that's way. Is there an article? Could you bring up an article on
Airbnb? Yeah, I'll bring up an article for sure.
So now if it's 3.5 billion, that's cool. I remember I was having a conversation yesterday, and my boy had said the shit had opened up at like 29 billion, and I was like,
so you know they were valued. So they were valued at around 20 billion when before the pandemic hit. When the pandemic hit, their value dropped down to about like less than 10. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
So
I would say that.
So, but the thing is, like, what people have been kind of saying and seeing is that they're kind of pandemic proof because people, when they do travel, they use Airbnb over hotels. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's kind of why they were able to still be so valuable. And you know,
my boy Perry, he took a different take on it, and I was like, well, no bullshit. He was like, well, what does Airbnb really do? He's like, there's nothing proprietary about them. It's not like the tech that they're offering is amazing. He's like, nothing they do is actually new in itself. He's like, they're a brokerage though. Like they're a middleman. They're allowing, you know what I'm saying, the consumer to get, and that is a real role in itself. But when he thought about it, he's like, these are things I'm thinking about when you talk about valuation of your company. Like, what is it that you do that sets yourself apart? Like there are other people in the spaces that can, you know what I'm saying? You have your Expedia and all this thing too. It's like, well, if we just like lower our rates and shit, like, you know what I'm saying? We could compete. But I mean, all in all, I mean, Airbnb is definitely changed the game. I use Airbnb all the fucking
Let me
time.
get into this article real quick. Airbnb tops 100 billion on first day of trading.
Yeah, like that's fucking crazy.
That is crazy.
No, like that's crazy, bro. Shares, no way.
The company shares
you know that was going to
skyrocket on their first day of trading, rising 113% above the initial public offering price of 68, and it closed at 144.
Yeah,
so it started yesterday at $68 a share, closed at $144 a share. That's love. Like that's love for one day. Yeah,
bro. Like
but also okay. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so they raised 3.5 billion.
DoorDash is interesting though. We could
DoorDash. I mean, DoorDash is 3.4, right? Like the day before that. That's another thing. If anything, honestly, if anything, like, what do you use more, or what do you think is more? I feel like DoorDash has more competition with Uber Eats and like Postmates and all that type of stuff. Airbnb is kind of in a league of its own. Like it made its own league. There's no comps with Airbnb.
I mean,
hotels are comps.
Exactly. The hotels are the comps, but I think Airbnb itself too. I guess it's a matter of logistics that like when another company could, because I feel like they separated themselves by being like a first in the space. But I don't think that, you know, moving on to the future, I feel like there will be a lot of comparable like alternatives, especially in the space that we're in now and like coronavirus and everything. Like that's what everybody is like high geared towards, more solutions, different type of shit. But you know, to the DoorDash, it's funny too because Uber had just bought Postmates. So Postmates is out of here.
Okay, so
Uber's been doing a little kind of consolidating too, because you know, just like you said, there it is a competition, and other than Uber, I think DoorDash is their main competition in terms of, like, it's funny, Uber is fighting on two fronts, right? You got Lyft for the fucking carpooling people, but Lyft does not partake in the food. As far as I know. I don't think Lyft drivers would.
John Jay said, are you talking about Airbnb still in $1 billion of debt? Debt doesn't matter in business, bro. Like, let's not even talk about how much debt Amazon is in, dog. Niggas don't care about debt. They care about what you generate. Are people using it?
But I mean, you know,
are people spending money with
bringing up Amazon too, though? I feel like I feel like that's a totally
VRBO
different,
is another. VRBO. You ever heard of VRBO? It's like vacation rentals. It's kind of like Airbnb, but it's more like vacation rent. Not timeshares, but it's like if you have it's like Airbnb. It's comparable to Airbnb.
But resorts.
But it's not even resorts. It's just more like it's more like you're getting like a crib and not like a room if you need a room, or a couch if you need a couch. Airbnb, it's rented out by a person. VRBO is it's person to person, or it can be like estate to person, or like hotel to person. You know what I'm saying? It's like Airbnb. The thing about Airbnb that I think makes Airbnb so niche is that it's like a website. But the thing that makes Airbnb so like lit is the fact that like, nigga, if I have a closet that I wanted to rent out, I can rent out a closet. You know what I'm saying? Like Airbnb is like, nigga, you need a space, I'll give you a space. You know what I'm saying? VRBO is a good mix between like Expedia and Airbnb. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I fuck with the homie Brian Chesky. Not that I fuck with him, but like he was saying how like he's the creator or the founder of Airbnb. Okay. He was saying, yeah, there's no like there's no business models that are comparable really to Airbnb right now. That's why it's so unique, and that's why it's kind of, he said that he noticed it was pandemic proof because people do have to still move around, like people do, and they're not going to hotels. They don't want to go into like big lobbies. They just want to like, you know, with Airbnb, sometimes you don't even have to see the person who you're exchanging shit with. You know what I'm saying? That's
majority of the time. And it's like, I get, it is pandemic proof because it's like you're allowed, well, as long as the people that are offering up the rooms or the houses are abiding by, you know, guidelines that have obviously changed during the COVID. It's like, well, it's at your discretion. If you feel comfortable,
stay home. If you don't stay home,
make like, your money. If you want to go ahead and still offer it up to individuals, because I'm telling you, people are still going to make trips, and make plays and visit cities and shit. And they're still going to need places. And even though the hotels can adjust their price due to economy as well, Airbnb is still going to be that cost-efficient alternative depending on your budget, right? You can't go to the hotel and be like, yo, bro, I got $100 to spend the night. Let me know which room. No, bro, it starts at $179.99.
Nah,
like,
big facts.
That's what it started at.
It's crazy. Shout out Brian Chesky. It's crazy. I know, like, I was thinking about the other day how, like, we were kind of talking about tech with Chameleonaire and everything, and then even with Airbnb, like I feel like the same way like niggas exchange like sports cards and stuff like that. I feel like I'm that way with like tech startup founders. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know, like the Evan Spiegels and the fucking Jack Dorseys and like all this type of shit. And I have no reason, like I have no reason to know these niggas other than the fact that like I'm into like tech from the startup level. You know what I mean?
And to be honest, it's like, well, now we're in a space that we're using these applications that were literally birthed in times where we could still critically think. And what I mean by that is like, well, we were in middle school before Twitter came out. You feel me? And it's like, you still had your own mind, your own thing like that. But I say that to say, it's like, you will literally be alive when the lifespan of some type of game-changing product literally starts, and then you see what it grows into. So that makes me even way more keen and way more aware to like growing developments and new tech startup companies and all that, because I'm like, bro,
and the
in
pieces
2030,
that are part of it, and
this can be a really instrumental part of, you know what I'm saying, just the shit that we're using or whatnot. Like, I'm sure there are people that had the inside scoop on Clubhouse last year and knew exactly the type of impact it would have. You know what I'm saying? And now to just actually be like a user on this shit now, it's like going forward, you're like, yeah, bro, I don't see how this would go away. I just think it's just going to evolve. I couldn't tell you what it mutate and evolve into, but I just know it's here to stay, because as it is right now, it's something that's in this beta mode. You see its use case so apparent. You're like, wow, this can only be built upon. And that's in like, you know, just being in this space. I love this shit because I'm like, tech is really shape-shifting the fucking society that we're into. So it's like, why not, you know what I'm saying, be in tune and just see what's going up. Like, that should get me geeked too, bro. Just like when somebody tell me about a new company doing some shit, even you just telling me about the VR, the VRBO. I'm like, VRBO. Word, I wasn't aware of that. I'm about to get hip to that shit. I didn't know.
I feel like this is a solid little segue into another, I guess, tech thing, which is the streaming platforms. War. There's like a real stream war going on right now.
Amazon Prime.
Now, right now that you know what I'm saying, it doesn't look like we're going back to movie theaters anytime soon. And not even just movie theaters, but like we need like entertainment at home. You know what I'm saying? Not that we need it, but America does. You know what I'm saying?
I guess to the point, and even just a little side note for theaters, right? It's kind of like theaters were already in this fucking decline. There's decline, and you know, now they understood we have to add to the experience.
This
we have to
accelerated
kind
it
of
for
make,
sure.
you know, the recliner. I don't know if you stepped into them recently, like
yeah,
the
like
recliner sofas,
that Senna joint,
the motherfucking
that joint in iPick.
Oh my,
yeah.
yo, they're like, do you want some?
They got
gourmet
servers
garlic
going, yeah,
fries
you know what I'm
and
saying? Like,
yo,
they had to make the experience.
Exactly.
They had to up the experience. But you know, the drive-ins are kind of popping.
And drive-ins
the drive-ins are kind of popping up. You know what I'm saying?
Because it got that nostalgic vibe
Yeah,
to it. You know, it's
yeah.
kind of funny how like these trends that were trends back in, like they're coming back because we're getting a little bit more in tune.
We're cyclic,
you know what I'm
but
saying?
Also I think just humans are cyclic. Like, we're cyclic. Things come and then they go. Like, I feel like when a generation that didn't experience those things come around, and it's like, oh, that shit look like it's kind of tight.
No,
then that generation like embraces it. But it's got to be tight. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like to revert to that when there's never been more options as there are right now at this point in time. I think like it says something like, damn, maybe it might not fade away, this trend now. You know, like the dine-in movie, like, you know what I'm saying? Drive-in movies, it was a thing before, faded away because of technology. Now with more technology than ever, people have kind of reverted back to doing that just because of, I guess, society and shit. So you're like, and you kind of find out like there's a joy in this. There's some type of joy to be had in this too. You know what I'm saying? Whether existential or not. But what was that just?
Well, the reason I brought up this, the Disney Plus and all that is because Disney Plus, and they had their like shareholders meeting yesterday, and they said that their streaming numbers, like their subscriber numbers, are at 86 million, which is a stupid number. That's first of all. Secondly, it's more than they expected at this time. You know what I'm saying? They anticipated for 2020, not 86.
It's been a year.
Less than that. Yeah, it came out last December. You know what I'm saying? So in a year, they've amassed 86 million subscribers, which is crazy. And then with that,
it's damn near 7.5 million.
It's half the population, damn near. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So fucking. Oh yeah, they're caked up. You know what I'm saying? But and that kind of goes to with Netflix is the same way. Netflix kind of they shared their model publicly as far as like they don't make money, bro. Like they got so many fucking subscribers, but their movies are big budgets, bro. That Irishman, the Irishman that Scorsese did, like
just to do that,
bro.
I'm sorry.
They drop big budgets on their projects, bro. But it's because like they want exclusive shit that brings in subscribers. You know what I'm saying? So they run through bread. I can't even imagine how much bread Disney Plus is running through, bro. They're about to do 100+ spinoffs for Star Wars, for like a bunch of Pixar animated movies. Ice Age is having a spinoff. Like I'm about to pull up the fucking article,
Disney
bro. Like,
is so like they playing this game.
Motherfuckers they beat the shit out of like drums. Like they will beat the shit out of a project until they can get every last pulp out of it.
This is what Disney did, man. They play a long game, like a motherfucker. Oh, no, they're like, you know what? I don't give a fuck how bad you want to view this shit.
John said real quick. John said you don't think Hulu is giving Netflix a run. Hulu is owned by Disney. I believe.
Is it?
I believe.
I
don't know 100% sure, but you know how they bundle like ESPN Plus, ABC Plus with Hulu. Okay. Yeah. It's because like ESPN is definitely owned by Disney. Yeah, ESPN is definitely owned by Disney.
I know
ABC is definitely owned by Disney, but I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I got Google right in front of me.
But now that TJ says that, I don't
put Hulu.
Hulu is rising.
Hulu is
it is rising, and the reason is because
I look at Hulu more like cable. Like it's like I go no, not like it's dying, but like I go there to watch Seinfeld. I go there to watch things that I know I used to watch on TV.
They have a lot of network
like
shit.
Blackish, like you know what I'm saying?
For sure. And I think they're boosting up on their original content. So like that's something I like to use as a gauge. Like if your original content's going up, then I view you as like a house and like in a whole like your building. Yeah. Disney is so crazy, like how vicious of a game they playing. Like they kept all of their shit in the vault. Like they literally is like, yeah, you're gonna have to go fucking pirate that shit.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? We don't care. Like
they got so much IP though, bro. Like
it's so crazy.
They own the intellectual properties of so much shit.
So like it's so crazy because now like last year when they reintroduced Disney Plus, you're like, damn, bro. You kind of forget all of this shit that was under their wing. They reacclimate you to the show, so they get your nostalgia coming back. So now you're in it. And while this is happening, you're like, damn, the people are just they're reliving their childhood all over again.
Yeah,
let's do these fucking spinoffs.
Okay,
they're fresh off the fucking shit. We got them to view it again. They got their kids. The new generation is getting hip to this old, like, you know what I'm saying? Because they're in the age. Now is the perfect time to exactly these spinoffs. So now this is new, this is modern, and now we just sealed in a whole new generation to grow up with. So I was like, yo, Disney is literally already is like trying to go for the crown of this shit, and they just started the streaming of it all. But it's like we've been building
less than a year, and they got Hamilton on that motherfucker. They got Hamilton on that motherfucker. Fucking okay. So let me get into this article. Disney unveiled a blitz of new Star Wars projects, including 10 television shows. 10
words.
It's like, okay. I mean, I've never been like way into Star Wars, so like I just don't get it. But like, man. I mean, motherfucker, like they got 10 spinoffs in the works.
Damn, that's fucking crazy.
It says, okay, what else did I see here? I just saw some shit. Okay, so Pixar is making several new animated series for Disney Plus. Looks like a Buzz Lightyear spinoff. ABC News also received some shout-outs, with Kelly Campbell saying that during this election season, nearly 4 million of Hulu's SVOD subscribers engaged with election coverage through ABC News. So, okay, we plan to expand our partnership with ABC News to include new original content that will live exclusively on Hulu. Yeah, I think if I deduce that correctly, Disney owns Hulu. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm on ABC News. ABC owns.
I mean, I'm also just gonna type it into Google. Like, let's see what
it's so crazy in terms of just.
But Disney, right? Disney owns. I know they own ABC. I know they own. I know they own ESPN. You know what I'm saying?
So, man, like, just the fucking game of acquisitions, bro. It's so fucking crazy. How people have these branches and shit. Like, yeah, you're your own brand and shit, but like, them cash flow statements.
Hulu is an American subscription video on demand service, fully controlled and majority owned by
Yeah. Disney is They're like, Disney Plus is.
Give me that. I want that too. Niggas, I want that too.
Yo, Disney's probably like, y'all better watch out for. We'll buy our ass. We're not gonna pay nothing. Like,
fuck
crazy.
That.
You're probably looking at Stars like, yo, Stars, you better watch out.
Yeah, that's big.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
Yeah,
like, Netflix never rocked it. Netflix like, fuck
Netflix
you.
is. I mean, but the thing is, Netflix opened this whole thing up,
Netflix
bro.
A fucking trailblazer,
they
bro.
opened this whole thing
they're
up,
like,
bro.
Pay homage, nigga.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be doing this shit.
That's big facts. Even like with The Office, because like The Office is, I think, their most streamed thing, but they're about to lose that in 2021 to Peacock.
Peacock
is NBC's streaming service. Ooh. Yeah, because NBC got some shit. I have Peacock. NBC has some shit, bro. They got Community. They got 30 Rock. They got The Office. You know what I'm saying?
Is 30 Rock not on Hulu?
30 Rock is not anywhere. You know what's crazy, bro? I looked everywhere for 30 Rock. 30 Rock was my shit. That was one of my favorite TV shows. It was on Netflix for a while, and then when it left Netflix, I looked everywhere, bro. I looked on Hulu. It wasn't nowhere, but then they brought it back on Peacock, which released earlier this year.
Tina Fey.
I love Tina Fey, bro. I love Tina Fey. She got like a cuteness to her, but she's funny, bro. She's funny. For sure. Something about a shorty that's funny.
It brought me
and like doesn't know that like they're cute. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because like I don't view like Amy Poehler in that light, but I think she's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, Amy Poehler ain't really cute.
Hilarious.
Yeah, she's not really cute or not really like good.
I guess I say that because her and Tina Fey will always play off each other.
Yeah, they work very well together. You know what I'm saying? Sarah Silverman is another sneaky bad shorty. Sneaky bad.
I had to notice that when I grew up, but I just seen her in a Comedy Central.
I thought she was jokes when I grew up. I thought she was jokes. I did not care for anything she had. I did not care for any content she was making, bro. Now I've seen all of her. Yeah, she's that long black hair. I watch all her stand-ups, bro. I think she got a podcast that I watched a couple episodes of. I fuck with Sarah Silverman. I'm trying to think if there's any other cute, funny shorties out there.
What's her name? There's a comedian, something Winters or Buck. She had this little talk. I think she had an interview with Hannibal Buress too. Whitney Cummings. Whitney Cummings
is pretty solid. I seen her.
She
worked. She made that show too, bro. Girls.
And Michelle
Wolf.
Wolf.
Michelle Wolf is annoying,
she was the shorty
bro.
that was pregnant.
No, that's Ali Wong.
Ali Wong.
Ali Wong is good. Ali Wong is good. Michelle Wolf is funny, but her voice is just too annoying. She's the one that talks.
I'm not hip to Michelle Wolf. I'm not hip.
You are hip. You are. She's got red hair. She talks like kind of high pitch like this. This is kind of how she tells her jokes. Not Kathy Griffin.
That's
Michelle Wolf. Let me pull her up. That's who I see. You know Michelle Wolf. Let me pull her up. But let me think. Who else? There's a lot of like funny. Ali Wong is good. There's another shorty who a lot of motherfuckers don't know. Her name is like Christina Schlesinger or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh my god, she's actually like very funny. She's actually like very funny. I'm about to pull her up too. You don't know this shorty?
Yo, she is annoying as fuck.
Her voice is
like
annoying,
real distinct.
But she like I've heard some funny jokes come out of her mouth.
Me
you
too,
know what I'm saying? Like
real, she don't give a fuck. Real raunchy.
Yeah,
right there. But like
she's very funny.
Her voice is distinct.
Her voice is very annoying.
Distinct.
Yeah, that's a big fact. But fucking okay, so yeah, we kind of moved away from the streaming platform thing is significant because that segues into our main point of today, which is the future of filmmaking.
Man.
The future of filmmaking looks very interesting if you're paying attention and if you are involved and if you care to, you know what I'm saying? And if you care about this
little context on this topic too. Me and Mac, we happen to be in the same chat room on Clubhouse, and they were talking about the future of filmmaking and specifically in terms of how these new technologies such as like artificial intelligence and VR, how they can like change the culture of sets, workflows, the way things are done. If it inevitably like lead to a better product at the end, or like some other fears like on the other side too, would it be something that like now you can outsource jobs to these like capabilities that we have, so there wouldn't be necessarily a need for like a lot of roles on set? So like it's a whole gamut, like it's a whole bunch of things, but I feel like there's so many things to get into. I think
often the problem is that like when people hear the future of something, or when people think about what something looks like, you know what I'm saying, in the future, I feel like motherfuckers get scared. Like they immediately go to, oh, what does this mean for me in my current job position?
Right.
Where it's like, bro, that's not how you're supposed to look at it. You're supposed to look at it, at least for me, what I do is like, I look at how does this make what I'm already trying to do easier?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like when I think about the future, when I think about filmmaking in general, what are the hardest things for me? Sometimes, me and you talk about this a lot. Like sometimes like a lot of the hard things are, you know, having bodies to do, like even talk, like fuck replacing jobs. Like it's hard to get people to even show up to do work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to get motherfuckers be like, oh, I'm so creative, I'm so passionate, I'm so blah blah blah. Yo, like, do you want to come pull up and do this shoot? What time? 8 a.m. That's early. You know what I'm saying? That's too early. Okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Like human beings come with this innate like looking for excuses, looking for like reasons why it has to be worth it for them to do something that robots don't come with. But also, I'm not sitting here saying that like I'm waiting for robots to come and take their jobs. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like, what are the hardest parts of the process for me, and how can we use technology to make them easier? Like when I think about, bro, like let's look at the technologies that advanced in filmmaking over the last like few years, bro.
I mean, cameras
have become so easy to get your hands on, bro. 100%. Like 100%. any person, if you're listening to this, or even if you're not listening to this, if you know how to operate a phone with an iOS, bro, like you can get your hands on a camera and be filmmaking today, this evening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the thing,
$500 can get you a filmmaking camera.
And perspective is very fucking important, because you view your phone just as that tool that,
motherfuckers look at phones as their phones. I always tell people, bro, use your phone to start. It's the best camera you can like. Your phone's camera is A1. People don't ever like appreciate their phone's camera.
The Godfather, right? The Godfather is fucking cinema gold. They shot that in 1972, and then they refurbished it, you know, with the new technology. They even make it like HD in a way. But I say all that to say they shot this shit in 1972. Somehow, some way, they made it look as if it was shot in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think the fucking Francis Ford Coppola, you think if he didn't have a fucking iPhone 11,
that's what I'm
this
saying.
Nigga
like,
wouldn't have used the camera the whole.
I'm saying his camera,
joint, like
whatever camera he was using is not better than nobody's cell phone camera today. You know what I'm saying?
Even the 90s.
Yeah.
Every fucking camera you have in the 90s, sure, like like these cameras have their own aesthetic, but you would have had that camera. You would have had the iPhone on set. You would have had it. Like, bro, I need this fucking clarity. Like, oh my god, 4K shooting better than any motherfucking shit we got on set.
Yeah. So the
rates,
so the first thing that I always think about is like, okay, like the technology makes things easier, right? But I think because like going back to the conversation that was had on Clubhouse, like some of the people who were skeptical about it were thinking about, okay, so I think when we think about the future of filmmaking, we think about like AI. Yeah, we think about like AI. We think about artificial intelligence, like taking the decision making out of human beings' hands, which you know what I'm saying? It's just, it can be a good or a bad thing. But the thing is too, again, it goes back to how does it make my shit easier? Because when you're making a movie or you're making a show, or even like even this live podcast that we do, there's a lot that goes into it outside of what we decide we're going to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how would you feel, for instance, that like, so would you feel this as an aid? Would you be appreciative of this?
Yeah.
So, not like what I'm about to say.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So let's say, you know, you screenwrite, you write.
Mm-hmm.
What if you're writing, you're reaching a roadblock? You keep reaching this roadblock. You're like, I don't know what the fuck. What if you had the ability to like motherfucking scan this into a motherfucking system, that algorithm, and be like trying to get your ideas and like, oh, okay. And like, using all the fucking shits in the world and everything, just be able to motherfucking give you outcome, be like, bro, this
I wish I had that
sense
right now, bro. Because listen to my biggest gripe right now. One of my biggest gripes right now is finishing a script that I'm working on. But it's not so much that like, but it's not so much the ideas that aren't coming. Like the idea is there. I have the beginning, the middle, and the end. I'm trying to make it a feature film script. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to add conversations. You got to add all these elements to a script that make it a script outside of the plot itself. You know what I'm saying? So like how you introduce characters through conversation. You know what I'm saying? So like if you watch good movies, people don't like, no character is going to enter a scene like, my name's Mech and I've had 7 years of alcohol issues, and you know what I'm saying, I take it out on my wife and beat my kids, and I'm troubled, but there's a loving quality about people. Don't enter scenes with that. You enter a scene and you have an altercation with your wife that reveals you have a drinking problem. You know what I'm saying? So like that has to be worked into the script. If I know that like I have this character that has these dilemmas, and I can type it into something some artificial intelligence, and they can come up with a scene that, you know, portrays the message I'm trying to get across. I can get this. I can start shooting tomorrow. The thing is, like, bro, the thing is too, and I kind of say this all the time, that like I'm doing all of this production stuff to lead up to knowing how to make a feature film, right? So as I'm building these skills, I'm getting better at all of the technical work that it takes to make a movie. Right. I haven't been getting better at the writing. You know what I'm saying? So like if I could have somebody facilitate the writing for me, then I can shoot this shit tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like I have all the pieces in place to actually shoot a film. I just don't have the script that I want, because like this story is very individual to me. I understand. I understand, and that's the thing. I understand that I have help. I understand that I have people around me that are willing to help. But like the story is individual to me, and something about working with people is that like, and I think we've talked about this before, where it's like you can reach out to someone to help you with something, but also like you know what you're looking for. So like when someone goes halfway there with what you want, sometimes you have to delicately communicate, this is good, but this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. It's not an attack on your character. No, it's not an attack on your work. It's not an attack on your artistry, but it's not what I'm looking for in this particular situation. And people take that wrong. Yeah, and people take that wrong. Yeah. So like if I could take the human out of that, I wouldn't mind it. That's not to say that I wouldn't have human beings helping move with the actual camera. I would have human beings on set. Like I want real actors. I want real camera operators. I want real production operators and assistants and all of that stuff. Art decorators, all of that. I want human beings, but also too, you use the artificial intelligence as like data to make better decisions. So like the art decorator can, like an art decorator will have a few outfits in mind. They don't just pull up to set with one outfit. Like this is what you're wearing. win, lose, or draw. No, they come up with a bunch of different options. So out of those options, if data can give us what looks the best, whether it's like the color goes well with everything else in the scene, whatever the fuck, if we can use data to like make those best decisions, and it's not like I'm making the decision, it's like the art director is using the data to make her decision or his decision. You know what I'm saying? Like why fight that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think people always revert to the idea that these robots will take my job, as opposed to looking at how can this robot make my job easier. And I say robots as like an arbitrary term for just like artificial intelligence or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I feel like we always have to be open in terms of how things can merge, because I mean, look, it's an ever-changing world, and I'm always stressed, like, you have to adapt. It doesn't stop. Are you about to just give up filmmaking then? Like if you see the changes, then you should just get acclimated to the changes, understand the new technologies in itself. And that's the thing, right? Fear is birthed out of not understanding some shit. But then once you realize you feel some type of way about it, well, that's a conscious decision now. Go ahead and learn it.
Big facts.
And it can be a tool.
And it can be a tool.
It's not
like, it doesn't have to. Yeah,
like,
it's not against you, bro. That's the biggest point. Yeah, they're not even thinking that, bro. So like the thing is, no, big fact. So like I'm always like, the thing needs to be like, how do you figure out how to do the shit with the shit? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I assure you, people are only making these things to make their lives easier. So you have to look at it how it'll make your life easier. They're not looking at it as like, oh, I'm trying to take Karen out of her job. No, that's not why they're making. That's not why they're making these things. They're making these things because I'm tired of communicating and not getting what I'm looking for, because the human is, attached to how they want to do it.
No,
like, I'm paying you, but you want to do it how you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And like, and one of the homies in the Clubhouse conversation was even saying like, what's so good about replacing me? And then he literally not corrected himself, but he said like, well, yeah, maybe I take too much time and I cost too much money. And I'm like, that's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas don't understand businesses are, we talked about this yesterday, bro. Like, businesses are businesses, and movies are in the business of making movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're in the business of that shit. So I feel like motherfuckers don't understand that you're gonna get to a point where you're making the best financial decision, because like, nigga, like, yeah. And this happens a lot with casting. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, we want this guy, but this guy wants too much, so we got to go another direction. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that's the only reason. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times money is the reason. And like, people love to be like, well, it shouldn't be, but it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be, but everything costs money. If everything didn't cost money, it wouldn't be the reason. You know
that's why it's like, yo, shout out all the more to producers on set, because you're like literally the person that has to balance it. But I'm like the director can be the one that can delve on the too creative side, but I'm the producer. I'm the
director tells the producer what they need. The producer has to have it for them by tomorrow.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's still, and I'm the producer is the one. I'm the one that's given the parameters to work in between. People can have these. Oh, let's do this, that. I'm like, and I have to make it.
It's not in the budget.
And then sometimes it's kind of like,
you can't do that. You can't just bring that up on me like that.
You can't just say like you have to make the effort to, how do I make this fit in the budget with still making sense without me, like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And even like to add AI, like even the workflows too, because like, sometimes people are operating heavy ass cranes. You need a type of individual to operate this crane. You can't just have anybody operating this.
And honestly, cranes be operating themselves these days. I was watching this. You heard of that shit, Jingle Jangle, on Netflix?
No, I'm not sure.
So it's like this Christmas Carol type thing. That's, I guess, it's taking Netflix by storm right now. Like, motherfuckers fuck with it. But it's a very like forward thinking Christmas movie, right?
Okay.
But I just randomly was watching some behind the scenes.
It came out this year.
Okay. Like this holiday season. So like maybe this month or last month. But fucking, I was watching the behind the scenes of like how it was made. Bro, I want to be on a Hollywood set so bad, bro. Like, the things that are taking place on Hollywood sets, bro, are mind-boggling, bro. Mind-boggling. Like, the cameras are like moving by themselves, bro. Like, I'm sure you got motherfuckers somewhere pushing buttons that are making them move, but like, 100%. You got cameras that are just like moving and tracking niggas by themselves, bro.
Yo, I was at I got a little glimpse, like when I was at the DC cable office and shit, when they're doing their fucking afternoon segments of shows and shit that they're doing.
Yeah.
It was cool as fuck. Like, you had your 3 main cameras that were on like these huge dolly of tripods, like off some, bruh, these joints are not moving.
It's like the dolly's bigger than human beings themselves.
100% facts.
Like they got to be motor operated.
Exactly. So like you're looking at the dolly in itself and you're like, okay, this dolly in itself must be running the gamut of maybe 5 bands just for the dolly. So now you're looking at what type of camera does this fucking shit hold?
Yeah.
So you're like, all right, these cameras are fucking 100K a pop, and then you have another little crane joint.
Yeah,
getting this different view that's just
swooping. That's what I'm talking about when I saw on Jingle Jangle.
Cool as shit, and it's like, yo, and they're still doing exactly like.
But again, someone has to operate those
You're
things.
Still operating. You
know
boom,
I wish
boom.
people could see like how this shit happens.
It's really cool. I wish I'm literally looking at it right now. Like
it's a bunch of shit going on here.
And like they don't have AI in there as far as I'm sure, but somebody's in the control room of some. I'm controlling this.
Yeah. I'm saying
so
there's still a person there, bro.
Right.
Like it's not like, again, bro, it's not like these things are going to replace people.
Right.
They're supposed to make the process easier or more like feasible to do. And it brings me to another point where and I think somebody brought this up in the talk too, but I actually saw the video for myself where somebody was talking about how the Lion King, they had, so you know how motherfuckers usually use green screen,
right?
So what they've been doing these days is using LED screens and just putting like the background they want on an LED screen and then have the character stand in front of it. So like it's basically compositing in real time as opposed to it compositing in post. You know what I'm saying? So like, so you know how we stand, if we were to stand in front of, say this was a green screen.
Okay.
If we were to stand in front of this, we would do what we would do.
Right.
And then we would have to go to the computer to take out the green screen and put in what we want.
Right.
What they do is just put a big ass, this whole wall will be a TV screen, LED screen. Then they'll put the scene on the TV screen.
Skipping that whole step.
Skipping the whole step.
That's
That's very hard. Yeah, like it's like it like, because you remember when we were doing green screen stuff, it there's just like little intricacies. If it's not lit absolutely perfectly,
bro, you have to curate.
If it's not lit absolutely perfectly, it's a little bit harder. You know what I'm saying?
And you take away from the quality.
Well, we got an interesting comment. Nah, people are the artistic value behind it all. Can't do it without them. No, I absolutely agree.
Hey,
from the artistry, oh, word, shout out Downshift Records. But no, I absolutely agree. This makes, I think the technology and the AI and all that type of stuff will make our artistry, like, we can focus on the art.
Yeah, right.
Like, focus on the art.
Focus more so on it as opposed to like getting away
I don't got to focus on like, okay, I got to call Bruke to come and shoot. And then I got to call, maybe TJ to be, like, I got to make sure everyone's on set on time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a whole stressor in itself that has nothing to do with the artistic process.
100%.
It's like people management. And I always say, like, making a movie is a lot like running a business. You know what I'm saying?
And it has the capability to actually rob from the creative process without you actually knowing from it, because you actually need that willpower, you need that energy, you need that enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And these other things where you actually have to learn on the fly can drain you of that. So you're like, oh my God, it's a necessity.
Yeah.
This has to get done. I had no intentions of being the one that had to do this.
I had no intentions of being the one that had to do it.
Use all
but
that,
it has to get done.
All that bandwidth. Now you have to use that to getting that shit done. You would get that done set up, but like there might be a facet of your shit that suffers because of that, and nothing should be suffering.
I agree, and that's kind of why I'm like, if we embrace this joint, you know what I'm saying, it will aid the artistic process. I really believe that, 100%. Because literally what I fancy myself a creative person, like, you know what I'm saying, I like to make, I like to make music, I like to make movies, I like to make podcasts, I like to do all kinds of stuff, cartoons when I can.
I would say.
But the thing is, bro, the reason I can't do all of them is because they all take a lot of other things, bro. I gotta, like, think about when you want to make a song. Where can I go record this joint? You know what I'm saying? Like, the song is done in my head, but to actually get it on wax, I have to, I have microphones and stuff like that, but I have to set everything up. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with this podcast, like, usually I have it set up, but remember when we first started doing it, I would have, or I don't know if you remember or not, but when we first started doing it, I only had enough mics I only had 3 or 4 microphones, but I do shows all week with different people. So every time I'm packing up my 4 microphones and taking them with me. Now I got 6. These 2 stay right here. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't have to set up to do this show like I used to. And I do have to set up, but not in the same way that I used to have to. It's like a 30-minute setup as opposed to an hour and a half setup like it used to be. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
And that's draining to the art. Like that's just draining, bro, to spend an hour and a half. And then it's like, okay, now I gotta like
there's individuals
that
be
are
artsy,
on set, you know what I'm saying?
Sets up.
And it's like, think about actors and actresses. They don't know nothing that's going on. They're in their trailer when you need them to say their lines, they come out of their trailer. Like, when they're done with their lines, they go back into their trailer. You know what I'm saying? Like
that shit
and then really everybody else takes hours setting up their scene. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the art director setting up, you got wardrobe, you got makeup, all these people doing their jobs so that the actor and the actress can, while they're offset, they're mentally getting prepared. They come to set, they do their thing, and then they leave. You know what I'm saying?
That's a great way to put it, because that's truly one profession. Whereas like when I come up to do my role, like that is all that is required of me.
Yeah.
Now there are, I mean, you have those overachievers, you know.
Yeah,
you know, you got your Regina Kings, you have the people that like, they're acting. If you look at them credits,
shout out Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Inception, Don John,
Don Juan, all that,
he's the reason I bring him up is because he's somebody that was he was on Third Rock from the Sun. He was the kid on Third Rock from the Sun. This nigga's been an actor for his whole life. You know what I'm saying? Since he was a baby.
Right.
But this nigga was I remember he was talking about how just being on sets, he would just, you know, go next to the director and just like watch what the director's doing, which led him to directing Don John. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when like some people who if you're actually interested in the filmmaking process,
there you go.
You know what I'm saying, you take that opportunity to learn what you can. But some people they don't care. They care about their artistry, which is perfectly fine. I just brought, like I say that to your point about like actors turn directors, actors turn producers, whatever the fuck. Like
and it's funny you break it down in that perspective, because I was like, you know, you have to actually be passionate to know how to take on these other hats and still actively enjoy it without, like, now you're kind of, you found this what's the right word for it? You found this like energy where you can literally leverage your energy between one another. They're literally feeding into each other
within the same industry,
and that's a beautiful that's it's not like it's a necessity, but that's just a beautiful space to find yourself in, where it's like, okay, here I am motherfucking doing this one role, I'm coming to show act, this is what I have to do, and you're doing that shit. But at the same time too, it's like you have a real emotionally invested in terms of how it's directed or how it comes about, because I love seeing when I see somebody acted as something, that when I see the credits, I'm like, oh, you fucking produced and co-directed this.
Which is tough.
Shit, like I'm like, you're going, like, you were trying to make sure this shit landed. You know what I'm saying?
Even motherfuckers really that write their shit and direct their shit. Written and directed by. That's the biggest flex to me.
Bro, that's
like that's my like
that's the set I was just helping on.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I want to, the movie idea that I have, I do want to write it because I wanted to say written and directed by Matt. You know what I'm saying? But also it's not like I don't need that, but it's like for this particular story is like near and dear to me.
But wouldn't you even say too, what it really is kind of like, but not like say this is solely, but additionally, it's like you want to see that shit through. Like I read it came out of my head, and now I'm invested into it. Literally, I made this. I want to direct it. Like I did that part. Like when I'm directing it, it's not like I'm going to be making edits while I'm like to the like
or checking in with the writer or the writer checking in with the director.
Like you know what I'm saying? And any change that we made will be made on the fly because it's like it makes it flow better. But it's like that's totally understandable and natural to just motherfucking be like, yo, I want to motherfucking be integral in how this comes about. I can't do it by myself, but I definitely know the direction this needs to go in. And it goes back to what you were saying in terms of like collaboration. You can do the job that it is that I'm wanting to do, but there's a particular way I'm trying to do it. It's not a knock on you. It doesn't, it's not, your skill set can be very well, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you have the skill set, but it's a matter of perspective, vision, and like resonating in terms of the direction I'm trying to go with. Some people can be way too technical with what they do. So like what you're asking for them to do, this like I can't break away. They can't literally right now, real time, break away from like how I've done repetition after repetition. Somebody else might be, I'm a little bit more lucid. I'm a little bit more flexible. If there's some things you want me to do, I'm like, okay, like we could just change it. I'm not so rigid in my shit. Like somebody could be great at what they do, but rigid. Like I'm not open to you change, telling me, but it's justifiably so because you're so good at what you're fucking doing. So I understand why you wouldn't be.
It's like Kanye's not gonna take no production advice.
There you go.
Like Kanye, maybe you should put the horns here.
But it's not like you couldn't learn. You know what I'm saying? You still see Kanye with his best albums. It's like, well, when he made fucking 808s, he had a fucking Cudi beside him before people really. He was household name. Darkhold, my beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
That's the last album from Kanye that I love.
Okay, peep this. Who's the most popping pop star right now? You can say it's Travis Scott. Who's motherfucking? I'm in the studio Kanye. And literally you're bouncing thoughts with me as Travis Scott when this shit's made.
I think Downshift Records got an interesting comment again. Collaboration can be a blessing and a curse.
Oh man,
1,000%. Because I feel like I trickle the line between what advice do I listen to and what do I stick to my guns on. You know what I'm saying? Because like I think it's not that I'm hard-headed, but it's like I've made enough things that it's like I know how to make. So when I'm getting advice from somebody who doesn't like, I see this happen all the time in video making, bro. Motherfuckers be like, oh, you should do this, but it's like you don't even know what it takes to get that done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't like taking advice or collaborating. I don't like collaborating with people who haven't
said that if you had that insight.
If we're not on the same tier, I don't want to collaborate. Like we have to be on the same tier, and it's not that I think I'm on any kind of like spectacular tier. I don't want to be listening to someone who's just speculating, doing things. I need to be working with someone who's actually done the thing that they're talking about, and I can look at their examples. Like I can 100%. See what you've done and be like, oh, okay, like this is your style or this is your wave. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody that's like, oh, I'm a director, but I haven't directed anything yet. No, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm a musician, but I don't got no music I can play for you. No, you know, I'm not collaborating with motherfuckers like that. You know what I'm saying?
And you way more. I mean, to be honest, like that's really your that's your responsibility to yourself to motherfucking like set the standard in terms of like what it is that you're trying to do.
What info you take in.
You take in and motherfucking and even like people that you allow to be a part of your process, because even with collaboration, how I would gauge collaboration is what are the thoughts that you have to contribute to the end game, to what we're trying to accomplish.
First of all, do you understand where we're trying to go? Like, do you understand what the goalpost is?
It's one thing to have the skill sets. Like, oh, you're looking for this. Like, I can do this. Do you know where we're trying to take it though? Because, like, for instance, and this is a microcosm of an example, but still kind of an example, right? I was doing Uber driving, and last year, and I had picked up somebody from the airport. I forgot his name. It's probably somewhere in my notes. I forgot his name. He was a black guy, and we was just riding around and shit. And I guess I was listening to a podcast. I think I was listening to Jocko Willink podcast. And Jocko Willink, he'll do with like a Navy.
Yeah, no, I'm very familiar. Okay, but for those that don't know, Jocko Willink,
really,
he's a Navy SEAL.
Yeah, Navy SEAL.
It's a former Navy SEAL, but like you just gotta listen to the nigga,
man.
Bro. Like he will make you want to get the fuck up, bro. And just like, yo, I gotta listen to the nigga, man. Jocko Willink, yeah.
So I was listening to that podcast, and I guess the dude he was kind of interested he's like, you serve? Type shit. I was like, nah, I ain't serve. You know what I'm saying? But I was like. I love getting the perspectives of some shit that I have never done or will never do.
Oh, that's so real.
I need to, like, I'm not trying to talk army with you, bro. Like, motherfucker, you're not an army. Like, what insights could we possibly have that are really worth discussion? No, somebody that's really been in trenches, really been in shit. I want to hear their take on it because I think that's important shit to have a perspective on. So might as well get it from the source,
especially in a world where motherfuckers love to just like spew their opinions on shit that they've never experienced, bro.
People think they know violence.
To hear about something and to experience it are completely different things. That kind of brings me to my point of like why I don't like to listen to people who haven't done the thing. Because like 100%. Just because you've watched a bunch of videos on how to make good content doesn't mean you know the practice of how to make good content. Like I said, it's hard. Like, anyone can make a podcast, but this podcast that we do involves a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like motherfuckers might think, oh, like I'm gonna do an early morning show too. Yeah, you can and you should if you want to, but like you might quit the first day because you realize it's kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? 100%. So, but yeah, continue your story about the Uber driver. You were in Uber.
It's about an Uber driver, right? So he was like, I was like, no, I'm not Navy, but I find it really important to gain perspectives from people that have really done shit that I probably will never do in my life and shit like that. And he was like, oh, word. He's like, I have a podcast too. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, word.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, check me out.
Yeah.
His name is Kevin Johnson or Kevin Jackson. Now it's starting to come clear. He's like, yeah. And he was just basically giving me a little background about himself. He's like, yeah, I was in the military too. He's like, now. And he's like, I'm a black belt. Then like martial arts are like what I do right now. Like I train people like be security and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like some high defensive shit.
Yeah, like defensive, self-defense
like
type stuff.
Defense type shit. So he's like, I'll be doing that and shit like that. But then he's like, and then he was just asking me more questions in terms of what I do. I was like, I'm a content creator. Like I help people, you know what I'm saying, visually bring whatever it is that they got in their head to life, whatever it might be. He's like, oh wow, like you know what I'm saying? I might have a need for that. Check my podcast out though. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always looking for people that try and do that type of shit. He's like, but listen to my podcast though. It's he's like, I'm gonna give he's like it's pretty right leaning. You know what I'm saying? It's really right. I want to just tell you straight up.
Black
or
white?
He's black. Yeah, okay. He's black. You know, it's pretty right leaning. You know what I'm saying? And like we had some takes in the car, you know what I'm saying? He got some real strong takes, you know what I'm saying, from abortion and all this shit, you know. But he's like, listen to it. And then so I say all that to say, even again, back to that end game, I can have the skill set that that you need, and I can be of value to you on set. But when he got out the car and shit, I went ahead and I played the podcast. I was like,
listen to it?
Yeah, I listened to it. I was like, yeah, this is some shit I don't want to be a part of.
Yeah.
No matter, it sounded like he got that shit. It sounded like he got a bass with him. He got a bass. He got a voice, and he got a voice.
Yeah,
you could tell. But just the same shit. I was like, it's so crazy. I'm sure so many people come to this same station in life within their career where it's like, yo, there is valuable experience to gain, and maybe I can, work up ranks in my own right to fuck with this type of shit. But at the same time, too, it's like, are you willing to, I guess, compromise what it is that you feel you're about?
Yeah, I feel like, what you stand up. Because I'm like, when I see shit like that, I'm like, okay, he can find another producer.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't got to be the producer for him. You know
I'm like, what we're trying to do, we're trying to make impressions on people's minds. We're trying to influence people. We're trying to inspire. We're trying to motivate. All this shit. This is what we do visually, right? So it's like to play a cog in somebody that's also trying to do that shit. I'm going to be very cognizant of what are you trying to do on all those fronts? Who are you trying to motivate? Who are you trying to inspire? Oh, I can be a tool for you to do that. Now I am so open to being serviceable to people, but I'm very conscious of what are we serving?
We gotta be
what are we
serving? Goalposts, bro.
Exactly.
You know
so that goes back at the end. It's always about the end game.
Yeah.
What purpose are we serving? And then I can know we could get on board. Sometimes somebody might not necessarily have maybe the skill set, right? But could see your vision so clearly. You're like, bro, I might work in a role. There's something here for you. You see the picture. Like, because I also see people that see the bigger picture. To me, is a skill set in itself too. You see the long game. You see that shit. Oh, maybe you didn't have the role that I'm necessarily looking for, but stick around. Like, just stick around. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe just for the sake to bounce ideas off of her. You know what I'm saying? Like, even that's how fucking interns come about too, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you're so adamant. You want to be into this shit so much so you could always have somebody that wants to be a sponge. Like, you could always, you know what I'm saying? You could always be helpful. Somebody that's just willing to learn. Bet. All right. Bet. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I think, that's kind of why I think, kind of like what Downshift Records said, collaboration is key. Collaboration is lit when it's right, when it's the right fit. You know what I'm saying? 100%. I think I'm big on like, gotta be the right fit. Like, I gotta work with and be around motherfuckers that I like to work with and be around. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't be doing shit with motherfuckers just because like just for just because. Like, I am not the what is it, like a clout chaser, or like I'm not like you're this person. We gotta work together. We gotta make it work. We gotta find a way to make it work. Nah, because like, and I think it's because I'm so confident about what I do and what I bring to tables, bro. Like, and I know I wouldn't feel that way if it weren't for that. Like, I know I've just kind of done enough things that it's like, okay, I know that I'll enhance anything that I bring, that I put my skills on. So I don't need to be enticed. Like, somebody can enhance what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 1,000% sure people can enhance what I'm doing. All the people that I work with in some way enhance what I'm already doing. But it's like, it's collaborative. That's collaborative. It's not like, like, you're doing me a favor, so I'm gonna like bend at your beck and call type thing.
And it's
you know
like
what I'm
vice versa too. Like
Yeah.
I feel way more than confident, especially when people, you know what I'm saying? I feel honored when people want me to take a hand in whatever it is they got going on. It's like, bro, I'm more than capable of doing my job and also adding insight to this conversation.
Yeah, and making it better. Making
it better however way.
No, that's big facts.
You know?
Yeah, I think that's dope, man. I think that's a good little place to wrap it for today.
No, for sure, man.
Great episode.
I really enjoyed this shit, bro.
We got into it.
This was some shit.
Great episode. I appreciate all the comments too. Mad motherfuckers getting involved.
Yeah, man. This interaction is awesome, man. Shout out Downshift, man. Shout out my
Grayler,
man, Jonathan Lake.
Appreciate all the work you've been doing for me, bro.
Shout out.
Bonnie was it fucking what's his name was in this joint.
Yo, he been
Los was in this joint. Yeah.
He was hitting me. He was trying to get on, but like, no, we'll get him on next. I see him getting on, bro. But I felt like we was just too.
We already had our
I wasn't
outline for today.
Exactly.
So
now, Los,
we definitely got to get you on, Los.
100%. Like, just
shout out Downshift Records for the, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else tuned in, man. Shout out all of y'all.
Shout out Graylen, man.
Yeah, shout out Graylen. Bruke, what you got going on this weekend, bro?
What do I got? Let's see. Damn, bro. I hate this question. I need to
nigga, you need to have your itinerary ready.
I know, dog. Like, what the fuck? Let me just say,
let me put this on record. I think we should shoot that thing we were gonna shoot. That little commercial.
Oh yeah. Okay. Bet that.
I got some time.
100%.
Like, I mean, I'm
100%.
I'm not really doing anything.
Yeah, 100%. We could do that.
Today, I'm gonna be editing. Tomorrow I'm gonna be editing.
And
Sunday,
we'll probably me and Mac sometime today, maybe right after this, maybe not, but we're definitely gonna start up this little clubhouse, and we're about to just, I guess, gonna do like a little after recap of everything that we had talked about today, and really just get on tangents too. You know what I'm saying? You get a gist of what the fuck we on. You know what I'm saying?
What's your clubhouse name?
Bruke Fasil. So exactly how my name is spelled: BRUKEFASIL. Yeah, man, that's a game changer.
Yeah, man. Link us on Clubhouse, man.
I have one more invite too, Los. I think
link us on Clubhouse. Oh, now he's gonna hold you to it. you can't say out loud.
This is the thing. This is what I've been telling people because yesterday I got banned. They hit me because I guess I was.
You got it. Oh, okay, bet. Yeah.
I got my first.
So now you.
Bro. But
so now you got him to go. Like
when I first got
here, I heard motherfuckers was selling them motherfuckers.
Oh, bro, go on eBay right now. $75, bro. I'm literally like
75
right now. It's $75. Yeah. And you know what the description was?
Yeah.
I'm just asking what I paid for it.
I was like, nigga trying to make his money back. Damn, nigga trying to make his money back.
That's so crazy, bro.
That's crazy. Nah, it's crazy because I was talking about
disclaimers, bro. Yeah. Like you knew when you gave that shit to me. And shout out, like Meg's the one that got me on. Right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't really geeking for it, but as soon as I got on the first day, I quickly realized what the fuck this shit was about, and I was like, "Oh yeah,
it's Liddy on there."
But
but the reason, and like I feel like with my invites, I've been strategic as far as like who am I going to be on here with? You know what I'm saying? Like I know I'm gonna want to have conversations on you. The first one I gave out was to Alex. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we were gonna do a show. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and like we were gonna do like a show on there,
right?
And then I was like, okay, because like we already always make content. I'm just thinking about motherfuckers that I know I want to have conversations with on there, and then what you do when you get on there is
man. I've been a conscious, like whoever I give it, I'm like, bro, I feel if you tap in and network with people of your value, you get value of it, and I feel like your shit can also just boom and take off. And the people I give the invites to are the ones I'm like, I hope you see the value in this. I just want you to win. Like I want you to use this shit to win. I think you could do it.
Yeah.
But like, there's been also some individuals too. Like I gave it to them, but I broke it down. I was like, yo, bro, it really is what you make of it. If you want it to be Twitter and IG, I was going to
say that too.
It could be IG comments.
I was going to say that because like I'm going to keep it a
plug-in. If you want it to be like a plug-in network, that is exactly what it could be. You want this shit to literally, like you could literally a lot times within the week, and it's like, yo, I'm gonna convert this to like real life business.
That's
today.
what I need.
That's what you can fucking do. You literally can do that.
I need to carve out time in my weeks to like deliberately do something
consistently
on there
because people will tap in, bro. They'll set their schedules around your shit. Like he's coming in on this time, bro.
Yeah. I was gonna say though, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like Clubhouse is great and it's great information circulating on there, but like
applicability.
Yeah, it's all about applicability. To me, it's the same as like podcasts. You know what I'm saying? Because like for me, like a lot of people don't. I mean, you wouldn't know, but like I am obsessive about listening to conversations anyway,
right?
But with high powered people. So like Tom Bilyeu, the reason I fuck with Tom Bilyeu is because like he's got so many conversational shows. He's got Conversations with Tom. He's got Impact Theory. He's got Health Theory. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
Tom Bilyeu, right?
Yeah.
Step in a fucking chat room and bounce thoughts with
that's what I'm saying.
Joints. It's that's like, okay. That's interesting, right?
Clubhouse gives like you the opportunity to do that, but it's not like every room you go into, you're going to be able to talk to everybody that's in that room. You know what I'm saying?
That's 100%.
So like, it is all about how you use it. It's about applicability. Fuck that word. No, but it's about how you apply it. You know what I'm saying? It is all about that. But like, I'm just saying, if I'm gonna keep it a buck, like it's not like you're gonna get on there and your network is gonna blow the fuck up and you're gonna get opportunities that you couldn't get elsewhere too, or information that you couldn't get elsewhere. I think also too, something that I do like about Clubhouse is that like it's more about people who seem regular kind of showing you how they get the results that they get. I love a good script on how to get like something done, bro. So like I run a business. For people that don't know, I run a home healthcare agency. That's like my quote unquote day job, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But like in running a business, like there's no formula. There's no reference. Everything that's involved in that, I have to do research on, and like extensive research. So it's not just like hitting up Google. It's like finding who knows these answers and finding out a way to talk to them, or finding it's a lot of research, right? So what I love about Clubhouse is the fact that like you'll get on there and you'll have motherfuckers tell you like how they grew their podcast from 0 to 100,000 downloads. But it's not like you know, Instagram pre-roll, like, I'm gonna show you if you sign up for my course. It's like, I went into Facebook groups and I spammed. You know what I'm saying? Like, not spam, but you know what I'm saying? Like the advice is not actually the words that's coming out of my mouth. It varies. But it's that kind of like script of like, this is the exact thing that I did to get these exact results. I love those kind of things. 100%. Whereas like you won't get those when you listen to celebrity interviews or conversations. So that's what I fuck with Clubhouse for. Because like, just to this specific point, I did learn about Facebook groups for podcasters through Clubhouse, and that was kind of game changing for me because like Facebook groups are great communities. I tell you all the time about that media group that I'm in on Facebook, and I was like, why didn't I just think to get into a podcast one? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the same kind of opportunities floating around. So like I learned that directly on Clubhouse.
And you know it's so crazy too, because I kind of even do what everybody's saying in these chat rooms, like that are like based about productivity and shit like that. And, you know, with the exchange of information, just, you know, with all those barriers down, and now that it's coming through, I'm making sure though, I'm not getting too caught up in the pros of Clubhouse and actually following through. And what I mean by that is, no, like when I'm plugging in with individuals that I like that speak and we plug in with each other, I make sure I follow up with them outside of that app. And I've actually had a Zoom call. I had a Zoom call with my boy Jerron Johnson. And Jerron Johnson, he was literally Ryan Leslie's partner. Ryan Leslie, bro, is a fucking game changing ass nigga. Not even musically, because if you know Ryan Leslie musically, you know this nigga plays every fucking instrument, can do it all, right?
Transcendent.
But back in 2009, bro, he had noticed the discrepancy in terms of the sales he was making and the money he was earning. And he was like, this don't make no fucking sense.
He got a podcast? I feel like I've seen him talking about this.
He might have for sure. He has talked about this shit. Yeah. But it was dope to be in the fucking Clubhouse chat room when he was talking, and like this dude in the chat was like, no, I'm sorry, y'all. Ryan, y'all gotta talk to these people. You had the first Clubhouse. Fuck that. And I was like, oh, word. In 2009, when he found out that he's making millions of sales and shit, but the dollars is not, you know what I'm saying, adding up. He's like, when this contract done, I'm not signing this shit again. Yeah. I'm literally, he literally on his website, and he built it through Shopify at the time when Shopify was, bro, just they're selling for over $1,000 today. At the time, bro, they're probably under a $10 stock. Built his site off of that, and he built this fucking system where he's like, he understands it's about 1-to-1 conversion, bro. And he was like, and even the dude Jerron, he was like, he had helped Ryan build it during this time. And he's like, how I view anybody that I make a connection with in their lifespan of you knowing them, they'll either give you $500 to $30,000 in your lifespan of you dealing with this person. That's what they can give you. So he's like, your key when you lock in with individuals is to literally follower get $1. Like $1. That should be your key. Lock in with them. You need to personalize shit. When people follow you and things like personalize it. Like, so he showed me to this website, and now I got this digital business card because now like this digital QR code. That's something I need to sign up because it's like, yo, the way that you could plug in with it is like, boom, here you go. You could sign into all of my shit. Once you do that, I could track exactly that you signed in. You get my services and like that. Yeah. So like really following up when it's your birth, like, bro, if you ever use any of my services or if you subscribe onto my website, you're gonna get that birthday newsletter. Yeah. You're gonna get that. Oh, I noticed your birthday's 10 days away. You know what I'm saying? It makes people more inclined to motherfucking do that shit. Facts. And I'm like, so it's like people running like businesses in a sense, 100%, thinking conscious businesses, right? Like conscious capitalism, like the book. And then fucking so Ryan Leslie, now he had built this fucking network. This nigga generated 2 million people off of $2 million off of 15,000 people. Now that's fucking crazy. They're not giving you $1. You know what I'm saying? You literally you're maximizing them, like, and they're willingly doing that. They want to do that. So I was like, man, you got to really build communities and actively engage with them as opposed to, I'm trying to get the world. No, engage with who's with you. Yeah, I think that's a long way. A big fact. And I don't know, have you ever heard of 1,000 True Fans by Kevin Kelly? I haven't. No, is that a book? It's an essay. Okay, you can find it online. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. It's called 1,000 True Fans, and it's basically this concept. And I kind of wanted to touch on this last week with the imposter syndrome thing, so I'm glad we kind of brought it here. But the 1,000 True Fans concept is basically the concept that you're talking about, where it's like you don't need 100 million people to like you, or you don't need 100,000 even. Right. If you have 1,000 people that will spend $10 with you, it's $100,000. That's you know real. What I'm saying? And you can get people to spend $10 with you a year. Bro. You know what I'm saying? $10 out of 1,000 people, that's $100,000. You know what I'm saying? And if you sell something that's a little bit higher ticket, then you know you do the math on that. Right. But it's not easy, but it's more feasible to get 1,000, 800, 500 true fans. I think about number. I think about right now. I probably got like 7 true fans that will do anything. And and he kind of explains what a true fan is. It's like they will cop anything you drop. They will tune into anything you do. I'm a true fan of Gary Vee. I'm a true fan of Tim Ferriss. You know what I'm saying? I think I've heard about Tim Ferriss's books, and then I go and buy the book just to read it. You know what I'm saying? Or just to, I'll literally read. I'll listen to all of the commentary on the book, so I'll pretty much know what's in it. But then I'll go buy the book anyway. Not even anyway. Like I'll buy the book to see if there's anything that I don't know. Pick up. Yeah, you're bound to pick up some. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was thinking about how. Oh, shout out Braylon. He said the digital business cards are the way to go. And the QR codes, I was about to say, like, what I'm starting to do is like with my art around here, they got QR codes. Like I'm about to show you, I got some pieces downstairs that like got QR codes on them. Bro. You know what I'm saying? So like how I'm like, like you already know, like the way I'm decorating this crib, it's like it's a fucking showcase. You know what I'm saying? Like everything, it's like showcase. It's gonna be a brand in itself. This is all branding type stuff. But to the point of 1,000 True Fans, or just like how you reach out to people, like people got to think more outside the box of how we reach. And even remember when we were talking about how I was saying like I only stream like a handful of artists. Like I only really listen to like, if it's not like my niggas that I know, it's IMDb, Lil Wayne, and Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? Like them niggas are making a lot of money from me, because just little old me. Like you know what I'm saying? Just because like I fuck with their work so heavy. But like I don't think people take into account like what one person will do for you. Like we got these up and coming, and I'm talking to you up and coming artists, like niggas who are on my tier, on my playing field. Like motherfuckers should be appreciating the 4 or 5 motherfuckers that you have and like really locking in with them. But also, of course, I'm not saying stick to 4 or 5. Yeah, you gotta always be looking for new clientele, for sure. New customers, for new sure. fans, for of sure. course. But that's just marketing. You know what I'm saying? Right. But like I think when we're looking for new, we tend to forget who's already here. You know what I'm saying? Bro. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. Appreciate that. I seen Braylon had made the comment, and he said they are the next wave. I would I'm not even necessarily gonna contradict that. I think I know what you're saying by that, and A&R, I feel like it's kind of even been like a little watered down of a position. Like a lot of people are like A&Rs now. Like a lot of people, I feel like they want to
AR, augmented reality.
Augmented reality.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
You know, we got virtual reality,
100%.
Augmented reality.
No. Okay, look.
Nah, because we talking about music. Everybody A&R. I'm
A&R. Nah, bro, 100%.
Augmented reality.
100% augmented reality is definitely the next wave, bro. Because it's everything's about interaction. It's about interaction and keeping attention spans, and then being able to capitalize off that attention span. Like, you know, it's one thing to attract people's attention, but it's another thing to
do it in an interesting way. Look at Nipsey, bro, with the whole thing. That's what makes you watch a video on the back of his t-shirts.
This is a perfect example of what
that
we're talking about.
Like just the fact that you can tell people
the motherfucking gave him the whole shit.
Yeah, just the fact that you can tell people to do that, it's gonna make people want to cop to experience it for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like let me do it. And then every people love to think that they're forward thinking or love to think that they're ahead of the curve before everybody else. So like that's a play.
Prior to that, $100 mixtapes.
Yeah.
But guess what? I gave you the option to get it for free. You really fuck with me. You really fuck with me. Like, you want it for free or you want $100? It's signed. I signed it. Like, you know, that's lit.
Niggas went on a whole 30-minute tangent after closing this show out.
It was
worth it.
One of the most important tangents. I feel like one thing to like draw away from this tangents, man. It's like just it's really important to cultivate your community and be aware of those that are fucking with you, and you know what I'm saying, like how they can aid your vision or enable you to get wherever it is that you want to go. Don't think necessarily that you're like devoid of what it is that you actually need. You actually may have that community. You just need to build it, be more conscious of it. You know what I'm saying? And then you can, when you're more conscious of it, you can kind of like move as a unit. It's not really just you. You know what I'm saying? It's you and like everybody that really support that shit. And you know that energy goes a long way. Yeah.
All right, man. I guess all of y'all have a good weekend. We will be back next Friday, same time.
Real early.
You already know what it is. We ain't here early, so early. Yeah. I guess we'll see y'all next week. Shit. Early.